So this is Rolling Oldies, back with our second episode. I'm Lonnie.
Gary.
And today we're going to go through kind of training versus recovery time, how we incorporate strength training, and then some injury prevention stuff that we've realized we've had to do. Also, this is, again, we're at Team Took open mat time, so if you hear background noise, it's just people rolling in the background, so don't pay any mind. Apologize ahead of time. So,
Training versus recovery time. A lot of us at our age get into BJJ and we come in with pre-existing injuries. And it just adds on to our current injuries that we sustain during training. A lot of us will have injuries like arthritis in the joints, shoulders, and in the knees.
Yeah.
And those are pre-existing injuries.
hands.
Today I saw something interesting that a question was posed. Do you do strength training along with your BJJ? I do. In my perspective, I do. I do because it keeps the bone density, keeps your muscle strong, keeps your bone strong, and you also incorporate, instead of just the raw strength, you're relying on technique and strength now. So, do you do strength training?
Yeah, I have in the past, but since I started BJJ, I don't do strength training right now, and I haven't since I started jiu-jitsu. It's not to say that I won't in the future, but right now I'm really looking at how much jiu-jitsu can I do in one span, and strength training just kind of it takes away from that time, right? If I do strength training, I'm more worn out and I can't do as much BJJ.
Yeah.
So that's for me. So I'm trying to maximize my mat time.
And
right?
I'm having to
for me
incorporate split days to do it in the morning and then come
Yeah,
back
there you
home
go.
and
Yeah,
try to take a hot bath and eat something and lay down to recover to come back to training tonight. So it's good in one aspect. It can slow up your recovery time a little bit because you're focusing on other things. So that's kind of an iffy thing there, whether you want to continue to do the strength training with your regular training to develop your techniques.
So what do you, as far as so training versus recovery then? So where's your kind of, do you think your fine line is? Like where's your sweet spot so far?
I would say I would focus more on my training in jiu-jitsu opposed to my weightlifting, because on those days it takes me longer to recover. That's what I'm noticing.
And you're doing both?
I'm doing when I do both.
Yeah, okay.
It takes me a
yeah.
lot longer to recover.
Sure.
And you start touching other areas and other pain sensors. But it does take me a lot longer, so I have to cut back on the weightlifting. And what I'll end up doing is doing maybe 1 or 2 sessions during the week, instead of what I was doing, almost 4 or 5 sessions.
Oh wow, okay. Oof. Yeah, and so for me, as far as training versus recovery, it's now, at my age, I can feel, I can sense, I'm more in tune with my body, the aches and pains. I know what's an ache and what's a pain, right? You always say aches and pains, and that's the term,
injured?
right? Yeah. And the ache is what you're going to feel, or what I'm going to feel every day if I'm working at my body. That's just going to happen. Pain, on the other hand, now that is something where I'm overworking a joint or a muscle group or something. That is different to me. I can feel that. And I was trying to just, in the last couple of weeks, trying to test my limit of training, right, versus recovery, and see where that sweet spot is. I was testing that this week. Well, it's come down to, I can do a 7-class week and have enough recovery time. Now, granted, if let's say on a Monday I'm doing the no-gi class and then the gi class and then free sparring after, and that's Monday, Wednesday, right? So it's 2.5 hours Monday, Wednesday, and then I do the gi Tuesday, Thursday, with the sparring after that. So it's an hour and a half each.
And more so, when I say strength training, I'm talking about core training, not bodybuilding. So this is a difference.
Yeah, you go. Yeah, that's a good
Sorry,
point, right?
I should have stressed that.
Yeah, yeah.
More of core training, dips, pull-ups, your ab
Body weight
workout,
training.
your
Yeah,
body weight
absolutely. Yeah,
training,
yeah.
your squats, starting to implement some kettlebells inside my
Yeah.
training, but not a whole lot because I don't want to sustain an injury from that, which will keep me off the mat.
Exactly. And that's kind of what we're talking about. Is what do we do to be able to stay on the mat
That's
as
the
long as we
question,
can?
Again, opposed to some of you all. What are some of your things that you do so that to keep you on the mat?
Yeah, where's your
age?
sweet? Yeah, exactly. Where's your sweet spot, or what do you do that helps keep you on the mat? Because for us, because we all have different. He strength trains, right? That helps him to keep strong enough to be able to come back on the mat. Me, I spend all as much time as I can on the mat rather than doing something else, right? That's I want to focus on the technique and the art for as much time as I can, as much as my body will let me. And for me, training versus recovery too is I don't go 100%. I don't care if it's free sparring. I don't care if it's the drilling in class. I don't care. That's how I would rather go 50% all the way through the week and be able to hit 7 times and come to the mat 7 times a week, right? 2 Monday, 1 Tuesday, 2 Wednesday, 1 Thursday, right? 2, 4, 6, and then open mat on Friday. I would rather go 25 to 50%. Open mat's probably like 25%, flow rolling, whatever. But go 50% the entire time, and I can get 7 hours. I can get all those hours in the mat.
Yeah.
Never having to go 100%. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Never having to go 100%. But going that lower percentage for me allows me to stay on the mat longer.
That's another question
Right?
posed.
I don't ever do 75 to 100% with anybody I'm rolling with. I don't want to. That's going to take me off the mat. That's good.
For recovery
It's as simple
time,
as that. Yeah.
at our ages, how often do you train? Do you train 5
Yeah.
days a
Yeah.
week?
See, yeah.
Do you come in and train 2 days a week
Yeah.
and then have to recover 3 days?
Yeah. You come in and like that, the heavier, getting your target heart rate up, getting the,
'Cause you-
using your body more, for lesser time during the week. Absolutely. That could be your thing. That's the way you approach it, right?
There are
That's just
days
not the
you're
way
gonna
I
come
approach it.
in And
Right.
you're probably going to go 100% because some youngster is going to be
It's gonna grab you, right? And,
Yeah.
and me, I don't have a problem saying, no, we're not doing that. I'll walk away. I don't care. you ain't guilt me into doing something stupid with my body. But some people really like that. They like that. Let's go at it.
Yeah.
A lot of guys in here do that. And that's just the way it is. Women too. You got women here that go all the way. And so I have to be like, hey, I can't do that. But so yeah. Anyway, that's so training versus recovery. We each have our own. We each have our kind of be interested to see what you guys think. Comment on kind of how you approach it and what's good for you, what's good for your body type, whatever, and what your goals are, right?
And then how often do you do it?
Yeah,
I mean, what is a
Yeah,
how often
absolutely.
do you work out opposed to BJJ?
Yeah.
And do you do them at the same time, the same days?
Yeah, you could do them that morning and then come into maybe a midday class and then an evening. I mean, who knows? We got people come to do 3 days.
Yeah.
Now granted, they're competing, right? And they're wanting to go down that route as far as, maybe the MMA route, but still, they're putting their body through that. So, the thing, what was it? I marked down here. Oh yeah, on the injury prevention front, I wanted to add that to this. I think. So, for me, I've had a few injuries, and the biggest thing that was the cause. I think the biggest cause for those injuries was lack of proper technique and being lazy with the technique. When I say maybe not lazy, but doing techniques when you've overworked yourself, right? Which means maybe you can't do that technique properly because you're too tired or too you've gone
And you're
past
forcing,
your
you're forcing
and
your
you're trying to
body
force
into,
it. Yeah,
to getting into a position.
not
where-
realizing your body is overworked and you're trying something you probably shouldn't be trying. At that point, or that I shouldn't be trying at that point.
Exactly.
So that's happened a couple times, right? And for me mainly it was technique. I know one injury I was tired, and I tried a technique I probably shouldn't have
In
tried.
other
at that
words,
point.
crush the ego.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
tap it and
just
sit
gotta
down for a minute, recoup.
exactly. And the thing is the technique. And technique is huge, and especially white belts. That's what we're learning. We're learning the technique, and the better you get at the technique, the less you have to power through
power
stuff,
and-
the less strength you have to use, the less all that, and that muscle memory will kick in, and your body will naturally make those moves.
Another thing is for preventative, coming in and spending that 30 minutes to an hour stretching before class.
Huge, yeah. Which I think
That-
we talked a little bit in the intro, but yeah, for me that's vital. I have to do that. So
Another thing I was talking about my partner about is I soak in extremely hot water. I don't do the ice baths. I
Me
soak
too,
in
same.
extremely hot water to loosen up the muscles before class, and then come in and stretch,
Yeah.
and try to get as much stretching done as possible before the warm up.
yeah,
And don't
agreed.
skip the warm ups.
Don't skip the one. And well, anyway, there's a caveat to that, but anyway, that's it as far as this topic we wanted to talk about. So until next time, I'm Lonnie,
Gary.
and we're the Rolled Oldies.